Ever had that sinking feeling right after you hit send on a really big decision? Well, today, we're diving into a classic contracts case, Cantu versus Central Education Agency, that deals with almost the exact same thing. We're going to see how the famous mailbox rule isn't just a theory in a textbook, but how it gets applied in the real world.
The whole case really comes down to this one critical question. It's basically a race against time. Who wins? The person who drops an acceptance letter in the mail on Monday, or the person who shows up Tuesday morning to take it all back? Let's find out.
All right, we're going to break this down using the classic FIRAC method, just like you would for a case brief. We'll start with the facts, then the issue, the rule, the court's analysis, and finally, the conclusion. Let's get into it.
Okay, first things first, let's lay out the facts. And in a contracts case like this one, believe me, the timeline isn't just background, it is everything.
So right away you can see the drama here. Cantu drops off a resignation on a Saturday. By Monday evening, the superintendent has put an acceptance in the mail. But then, bright and early Tuesday morning, Cantu shows up trying to withdraw her resignation. That gap between Monday at 5:15 p.m. and Tuesday at 8 a.m., that's where the whole legal battle is.
Now, here are a few more details that might seem small, but they end up being absolutely critical. First, in her resignation letter, Cantu asked for her final check to be sent to McAllen, Texas, which is about 50 miles away. Second, only one person, the superintendent, could actually accept her resignation. And third, when she tried to take it back, she used a local address. Keep that McAllen address in the back of your mind. It's going to be a big deal later.
So, all of these facts, the timeline, the addresses, they all funnel down into one very specific legal question that the court has to answer.
And here it is. This is the heart of the matter. Was the deal done the moment that acceptance letter hit the postal system on Monday? Or did Cantu still have the power to change her mind on Tuesday because she hadn't actually received the letter yet? That's the whole ballgame. Now, to solve this puzzle, the court had to reach into its legal toolkit and pull out a really powerful principle of contract law. You've probably heard of it, the mailbox rule. And this is where it gets really interesting. Cantu's lawyers argued for a very old-school, very strict version of a rule. They said, hey, she hand-delivered the offer, so they can only accept by mail if she expressly said they could. But the court took a much more modern, more flexible approach. They asked a simpler question. Was it reasonable for the school to use the mail, given everything that was going on? So what is this modern rule? Well, it basically says that an acceptance is effective the second it's out of your hands, the moment you dispatch it, not when it's actually received. And this is huge because it creates certainty. It puts the risk on the person who made the offer, since they're the ones who could have said, hey, you have to accept this in person if they really wanted to.
And this quote from the legendary contract scholar Arthur Corbin just nails it. It perfectly captures that shift in thinking. It's not about mechanically matching the method of the offer anymore. It's all about what's reasonable under the circumstances.
Okay, so this is my favorite part. How did the court actually take this idea of reasonableness and apply it to the specific facts of Cantu's case? Let's walk through it.
This is the million-dollar question. The entire outcome of the case hinges on the answer. If it was reasonable, the school district wins. If it wasn't, Cantu gets her job back. Simple as that.
The court's reasoning was really a three-step dance. First, it looked at the urgency. School was about to start. They needed to hire a replacement and fast. Second, her timing. By resigning on a Saturday, she forced a delay, which just added to that urgency. And third, and this was the clincher, that McAllen address. By asking for her final paycheck to be mailed 50 miles away, she basically sent a giant signal that she was no longer in town and that mail was a totally logical way to reach her.
So, with that logical breakdown in place, the court was ready to deliver the final verdict. So what was the holding?
The court's decision was crystal clear. The acceptance was legally effective at 5:15 p.m. on Monday, the very moment the superintendent dropped that letter into the mail.
So what does that mean? It means by the time Cantu walked back into that office on Tuesday morning to take it all back, it was already a done deal. A contract had been formed. Her employment was over, and she couldn't unilaterally just rip it up.
So if you remember just one thing from this case, let it be this. In modern contract law, reasonableness is king. The mailbox rule isn't some rigid, technical gotcha. Courts are going to look at the whole situation to figure out what makes practical sense. It's a huge shift from the old mechanical way of thinking.
Now that you've seen the court's playbook here, think about it. What if she had resigned on a Tuesday morning and given a local address? Or what if she had written in her letter,
Please call me to confirm. You can see how just a few small tweaks to the facts could have led to a completely different result. And that shows you why understanding what's reasonable isn't just an academic exercise. It's everything.